Hi, this is Sonya with Artsy Solutions, and welcome to the Scrappy 8 Challenge. And it's hosted by us ladies, the Scrappy 8 Facebook group, and I'll have a link in the description where you can access us. And there are some of the ladies who are mainly on Instagram, and then others who were on both Instagram and Facebook. So, for the month of September, our challenge was chosen by Julie. And this month's prompt is playing with shadows. So I've decided that I'm going to do like a little layout. Let's see, because we're getting close to the end. Let's see, which page do I want to use? 'Cause I've still got so many pages left. Let's see. I'll just do this page right here. All right, so I'm wanting to make like a steampunk type layout. So to get started, I'm going to first go ahead and prep my page, and I'm going to paint it black just to have like a solid black acrylic backdrop. So let me go ahead and get started. Okay, and so while the black paint is drying, I'm going to cut a window because I want a shadow. So I'm going to reduce this. I want this window to be, I guess, maybe, hold on. Let's see, probably 4 inches wide. 4 by maybe 5, we'll see. I might have to cut it down some, or I'm just do 5.5 for right now, because it's going to be like a frame. I'm going to die cut a frame, and I got to make sure that this is bigger than the frame that I'm cutting. I'm going to use this Movers and Shapers by Tim Holtz. This is the big ticket die, and I want my window cut out. I want the shape of the window to fit the frame, you know what I mean? So I'm going to try to center this as best I can. I might have to cut a bigger, let me just cut a bigger piece of paper, and then I can cut it to the size that I need it. And then I'm just gonna die cut this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the frame, and then I'm just gonna cut like 1 inch off. I'm gonna keep this for a future project. And I'm going to leave about 1 inch from here on here. Let me take about 1/2 inch off. All right, so now we have our window, and I want to emboss going around the edges. So I'm going to take this 3D Textures Fade, Texture Mechanics, and I'm going to send it through the embossing folder. I think I'll use this side right here. All right. And I'm going to idle up I'm going to add on some colors, probably some alcohol inks, and we'll see. We want to make it shiny, have a little bit of shine on it. Okay, so this is pretty much dry, and I'm wanting to do like a wax resist on this. I did this when I was doing the Essence of Time. It was my first time doing it, and I loved it. And so I want to do it again on this, as well as on some of these. So I want to have like some silver and gold, but I don't have any gold acrylic paint, but I have a bright yellow, and I wonder if I just mix just a dab of brown just to kind of tone down the yellow, and then just add some of this yellow, and then just kind of mix it together and see what we come up with. It'll kind of give like a goldish tint, you know, not exactly what I'm looking for exactly, but and then I wonder, no, I'm not going to do it. I can say if I add some glitter in there, it's not, I'm good. I'm not going to add the glitter because I feel like I'll really mess up something. So this is going to kind of like be our gold. All right. So, well, I'm going to be also adding some alcohol inks and alcohol pearl, so that'll give it like a sheen. All right. So for the backdrop, on that last, when I did Essence of Time, I tried using, I didn't have any beeswax, but I did use petroleum jelly, distress glaze, and chapstick. And I honestly found that the chapstick and the distress glaze gave it the result that I was looking for. So I'm just going to use just chapstick just to kind of take some of this off. And I'm going to do the same thing with some of these backdrops. And then we're going to take it from there and see what we can come up with. I've decided to do the frame in blue just so I can have some different sets of colors. So we're going to do it in blue the same way. Okay, so now it's time to take some of that paint off, and I'm just using a wet wipe, and I'm going up and down in a straight line, which is the same way that I applied the paint. That way it gives it that weathered look, you know. I'm going to do that with everything that I added the wax resist to. Okay, so now I'm going to try and add the shimmer to some of these right here. I might just leave this as is so that the other stuff can kind of stand out a little bit more depending on how this turns out. So I'm definitely going to use the alcohol pearl mineral and smolder and see what happens. I'm just going to pour some on here and then just kind of dab some of these raised areas and see what we can get. now I'm just going to take this page protector and I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to use it as like a window, as part of this window unit. So I'm going to glue this window unit on and then stitch around the edge, and I'll be right back. And I'll cut around the shape of it. So basically, let me just go ahead and do that now. Just gonna okay, so I wanted some of this to have like a combination of gold and silver shine to it, but it doesn't. So I'm going to try a couple of different things. First, I'm going to take some of these, it's the liquid pearl, and I'm just going to kind of barely go over the raised up, some of the raised up parts on here. And I'm just going to kind of test it on some. I'm not going to do all of them. Like on some of the letters. And then I'm going to take some of this holographic embossing powder. I don't know if that's a smart idea or not, because I'm thinking it's going to stick to more than just, yeah, it's sticking to more than just what I want highlighted on here. So I might have to readjust. And then I'm just going to take a brush and try to knock some of that off. Some of the parts that I don't want embossed. Let me just go ahead and take all that off, because that's not doing what I want it to do. At least not on the letters anyway. So we're just going to take all that off. Let me regroup. So this isn't going to work. The liquid pearls is not going to work. However, I'm wondering if I take this emboss it pen and then just go over some of the letters with that same holographic pen, with the holographic embossing powder, if it'll pick up, you know. Not quite the way I wanted it. I mean, depending on how you turn it, it shows, but it doesn't show at every angle, and that's not what I was looking for. But maybe if I would have had white gel pen or something. So I'm just going to take and dab my finger and see if I can bring out some of these letters. Alright, so I'm going to leave these as is and let that finish drying. And then I'm going to do some stamping. I think I want to use this right here, because I do want some like gears and different things like that. So I'm going to stamp some of these onto some white cardstock and fussy cut them out. And I think I'm probably going to let this light be like a shadow. So I'm just going to use some archival ink, jet black, I guess, or black soot. And let me get my stamping blocks. Okay, so I've decided that I want to let this open up like an open window. So I'm going to create a hinge, and I'm basically just going to add this. So let me just cut it down. Or I don't know, actually I don't think that would look right. No, I'm not going to make a hinge, but I am going to have a background. So, but what I want to do is go ahead and line up where this edge is going to go. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it on there. And I'm going to have a black background. So, well, I meant to put it on this side, but it's okay. So this is going to go in the center, like so. And this, I'm actually going to use this right here, which is going to be the backdrop of this. And let's see, I'm going to take part of this. I want to tear one downwards, and this is going to go over like so, and I'm just going to cut that little piece right there. So let me just go ahead and glue it on. This right here is from, you know, that little old embossed part that I added on, that I added some mixed media, the alcohol inks and things like that. That's what this one is. All right, this is going to be part of the shadow. Let me just go ahead and cut this. I really don't have to cut it since it's going to fit in behind here anyway. But let's see. Now what I'm wanting to do is the professor is going to go in behind here. I wish this would stay. I might have to stitch that on after I get this one here. But anyway, the professor is going to go on here. He's going to be like the shadow. Let me slide him down some, I guess, to about right here. Yeah, he's like a shadow. So maybe I could just kind of color him in a little bit more. And then we're just going to kind of go over it with black. Let me just add a little bit more black because it's going to be just enough that you can tell that he's a person or it's someone, but he's in the shadows. I'm just going to glue him like right in here. Yeah. I want to keep him kind of down this way. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the backdrop. I'm going to make sure it lines up with the window. Okay, so while I was sewing it, this page came apart. So basically I'm just going to glue it to this other page. And that's just what we're going to have to do to make it work. Alright, so now it's time to decorate. And I've gotten some stuff that I'm considering using. I definitely want to put this over like this. I think I'm just going to use the whole thing. So let me just glue that on. Alright, so this is pretty much it. This is playing with shadows, and then we just have us the professor he's hiding in the shadows behind this little window. And it just has like a vintage kind of I don't know, what do you call it, steampunk kind of look. So this is pretty much it. And so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos, blog, and social media sites. And as always, I thank you guys so much for watching.